Do celestial bodies always rise in the east and set in the west from anywhere on Earth? Today we'll be referring to the Sun, the most commonly observed celestial body by most humans. This is a diagram of the Earth, where the purple line represents the equator and the line in black represents its axis, which also locates the North Pole at the top and the South Pole at the bottom. Fundamentally, you need to know that the Earth rotates in the east direction of the equator. Therefore, the Sun will presumably always rise in the east and set in the west. Well, that's where you're wrong. The orbit of the Earth is elliptic and not perfectly spherical. Thus, the Sun will only perfectly rise due east and set due west on 2 days of the year, while the other days, the Sun will face two phases where it will rise nearer and nearer towards the northeast, and on the second phase, it would move nearer and nearer towards the southeast, and subsequently the same for sunset. Hence, we could still say that the Sun approximately always rises in the east region and sets in the west region. Having said that, the Earth does experience a rotation in its axis, which happens significantly around every 3,000 years. And when we are currently in, there is an angle of displacement of around 23.4 degrees from the original position of the axis. But even with this, the Earth still rotates in the direction of the equator about its axis. Therefore, the region near the North Pole marked in red would experience 6 months of full-out day due to continuous exposure to sunlight in its first phase, and the region near the South Pole would experience around 6 months of full-out night due to continuous of no to little exposure to sunlight in its first phase, and subsequently the opposite in its second phase. This occurrence is called the polar day and the polar night. Therefore, there are areas where the Sun wouldn't even set or wouldn't even rise on Earth.